Hi, everyone. This is Scott Nybakken for Dynamite Comics, and I'm here with writer Jeff Parker to talk about his upcoming new series from Disney and Dynamite, Zootopia. Jeff, thanks for joining us in the channel.
Hey, good to be here.
So, to start off, this is going to be the first ever ongoing Zootopia comic book series, which makes it a real milestone for the franchise. What drew you to the project, and how much did you know about the animated film when you signed on?
Oh, I love that film. I remember when I first missed it at the theater. It's like I was doing a free comic book day signing while my son was next door to the theater watching it. And then when he came back, he was like, "That was so amazing!" And I'm like, "All right, well, when we get back home, I'll just get it." So we bought it. And then it was just pretty much on all the time. Like if I was walking through the living room and somebody was watching it, I'd inevitably get stuck at the couch. Like, well, I'm not too far in. I can watch the rest of this. I just feel like it's one of Disney's best features in decades.
Yeah, I think most of the people watching are familiar with the plot of the movie. So, can you give us a quick description of how things will be set up for Officer Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde at the start of your new series? It's taking place in the city of Zootopia shortly after the events of the film, right?
Exactly. You don't have to feel like you missed anything because it's practically. You could assume it's just a couple of weeks after the movie. Like they're partners now, driving around the cruiser, taking orders from Chief Bogo. Um, yeah, it's like so. It's there's not one of those things where you have to catch up. It'd be fun to watch the movie before the comic comes out. I think.
Yeah, and so without getting too spoilery, can you tell us some more about the first issue's story and also about how the series is structured in terms of like narrative arcs?
It is okay. This the first six issues uh, are all connected, but we did it in such a way that you could come in at any time and just think, "Oh, I'm following another caseload for Wild and Hops for the day." Um, in the first issue, Bogo sends them to do a little crowd control thing, and of course, Judy is the same as she is in the movie. She wants to be assigned to the most important cases to use her brain, and this seems like a typical like treating cops as ushers or something like that. But it quickly turns into something with a big explosion and a big case opening up for them. And it, she has to, of course, kind of downplay her enthusiasm sometimes because, she's afraid she looks too excited about something. She won't get that job.
This isn't your first experience writing the Disney Dynamite or Disney's books for Dynamite. You also worked on the adventures of Darkwing Duck's notorious nemesis Negaduck.
Yes, the
How
evil opposite
That's
of
right.
Darkwing Duck.
How is the process of writing for in the Zootopian universe compared to the work on Negaduck?
The way the worlds of the cartoons work. Uh, Negaduck and Darkwing Duck is more fast and loose. In fact, they actively would resist continuity in the cartoon. It was fun. I got to talk to Tad Stones about how they, and pay attention to what he was going through when he worked on that. And so you don't have to uh, be so close to the rules with the Darkwing Duck universe. Whereas Zootopia is more grounded and constructed and thought out in the way it works. Um, I, I don't know. I'll let readers judge, but I feel like actually the way Zootopia works is probably more suited for my brain. Um, once I like to kind of understand the ground rules and just like so that things have an internal logic to them. And that may be from years of writing superhero comics that I'm geared that way. I don't know, but I one thing I always liked about Zootopia the movie, sorry, it seemed like the premise one of the premises of it. There's a lot of big ideas going on when you look underneath it, other than just simply solving a mystery. But it always seemed to play with the kind of joke people would make for years. What if Disney animals met real animals? And that's what happens in the movie, you know. It's like, and I always thought that was really clever that they found a way to incorporate that in the plot.
Yeah, and in the film, like the city and its throngs of different animals are a real feast for the eyes. It's almost overwhelming at times, and there are a lot of
Yeah,
interesting.
they did. They put so much thought into it. It's a lot of world building, and you know, poor Alessandro, he's got to pull it off all by himself. You know, it's like he doesn't have all these other artists teaming up with him. He's got Deirdre Kelly, who's an amazing colorist, and she fills in a lot. You know, she makes a lot of it really pop. And but Alessandro is really doing hero's work here because he's not only got to convince you this is Zootopia, he's got to make the characters act the way they act in the movie, and it works to me when you go back and read it. God, you know, I've read a lot of early proofs now. It's like you can hear the voices, you know.
Yeah, and like there's you know, there are a lot of interesting looking characters that appear like only fleetingly in the background in the film. Are you going to be featuring some of them more prominently in the comic, and will you be introducing some new animals as well?
Yeah, I didn't feel like uh, Disney would be okay with me just grabbing. Guess what animal exists in Zootopia now? You know, without getting it approved first. So I tended to look through the background and see what kind of animals they already did show. Uh, I'm sorry. Speaking of animals, here's my dog. Marty, you wanna be on camera?
What better, you know, what more appropriate for a Zootopia interview?
Yeah, he's like, there's a ball down here. Why are we talking about animation? Um, so yeah, I did. You see some kinds of animals that weren't main characters in the movie, but they're the kinds that you can find in there. And Disney has to sign off on everything I do. So you know, I'll float one out. It's like, okay, can I have a muskrat, you know, or what, you know, or whatever, and then when they come back and they say it's okay, you know, it's all mammal based too. I got to watch it I can't just drop in a lizard person.
Mm. Yeah, and this brings me to my final question, which is, if you found yourself in the world of Zootopia, what species of animal do you think you would be, and what would you be doing for a living?
God, that's a really tough one. You know, one of my favorite characters in the movie is Mayor Lionheart.
Oh
I
yeah,
like him. I like him because even though he's a criminal, essentially, he's breaking law. He's not really a bad guy, you know, and he's
yeah.
funny. He kind of keeps his spirit up. I wish I could be the mayor like him. Or the one I always relate to is there's this one young cat guy who's waiting in line at the DMV, who's kind of like checking his phone and tapping his hand on his arm, you know, while they're trying to get the answers about the license plate. Um, I don't know. I relate to that cat a lot. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what he was. Was he a tiger or? Yeah, well,
I don't. Yeah, I
somebody in
don't. I remember him. I remember him, but I don't remember which one he is either.
yeah, it's one of those where you could tell that somebody writing had just been to the DMV and they really got that right. Um, you know, it's like I definitely don't want to be a sloth. It just can't take that long unless I get, I guess, a sweet car or something. But yeah, that's a good question. You know, it's like, and I guess my dog would be one of the wolves that you see that they nick tricks into doing the howl.
Yeah. Well, like I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this, and I think everyone else is as well.
Yeah, you would have thought something like this would have happened way before now. I mean, it was stop, man.
Yeah, he agrees.
Yeah, it's like I've been waiting forever for more Zootopia stuff, and now I'm one of the people doing it. So I guess that there's a lesson in there somewhere.
All right. Well, Jeff, thanks for joining us, and thanks to everyone for watching. Zootopia #1 will be in stores in January, so be sure to pre-order it now and to follow Dynamite Comics on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X to hear more about all of our upcoming releases. We'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.